So Mia Khalifa's a little bit of an idiot. What's going on, everybody? It's your buddy, it's your pal Spaz Phoenix, the YWC Reality Check, and this is something new and different. This is something I'm going to call off the cuff. This is where I'm going to talk about anything, basically, that doesn't fall under the category of a preview or a review or an NXT or a Q&A, any of that type of thing. You might have noticed I took last year I took the Tackle series with myself, Christian, and Guapo as an opportunity to sort of shoehorn in other topics that were happening at the time. If something was happening with Chris Jericho and Chris Jericho had a match at the pay-per-view, we just sort of shoehorned it all in there. But I don't always want to do that. I want to come up here, I want to give you guys brief I don't know what you want to say. I want to call it brief thoughts, brief reaction. This is not a news thing. This is not, I'm not here to break, like breaking headlines, breaking news. I'm not Sean's View Entertainment. But what I do want to do is I want to come up here, start a conversation, give you my thoughts on any particular topic. And yeah, a lot of them are going to be controversial. A lot of them nobody's going to agree with me with, and that's fine if Twitter is any indication at all. If it looks like I'm sort of looking all over the place and sort of stumbling over my words, that is kind of the goal of this, because I don't have any notes per se. I don't have any, I don't even know where the... You guys know this. You guys know the Doomy Clipboard of Doom. But there are no notes for these. This is just going to be my gut reaction to things, sort of, and I'm not going to be reading from No DQ. I'm not going to be reading from, Pro Wrestling Inc. or anything like that. Just my thoughts, just my opinion, my take on things, and as the title suggests, the comments are going to be very off the cuff. There's not going to be much structure. There's going to be a whole lot of me rambling and umming and awing and all that kind of thing. So I hope you'll bear with me. I hope this is a cool new thing we can do. I'm actually recording this on December 14th. You're not going to see this until January, because as you guys know, my channel is on hiatus right now. But you guys are going to see this probably the first week of January, so the news will be old by then. So I'm definitely not trying to break any news. But what I also want to say is there may be further information offered after this was recorded. I'm admitting that. There may be things clarified. There may be certain how do I want to say this? There may be certain facts that have been misconstrued at this point that may be cleared up later on. There may be things that seem pretty clear right now that may be more misconstrued later on. So if there's anything been added to this after December 14th, I do apologize, and I'm leaving that right in the beginning of the video. But let's talk about Mia Khalifa. Who the fuck is Mia Khalifa? I didn't know either. If what you just said was I don't know. You read things, people start talking about things on Twitter, they trend, or people react to stuff, or you see things on Facebook or whatever. And most of the headlines were like something along the line, not in a disrespectful way, but like random porn star shits on WWE, which is fine. And then, you read about it a little bit, you see people's reactions, people come up with some shit here and there, and yeah, some of it's funny, some of it's offensive, most of it's not very original, I'll give you that, we're not good at that sometimes. But from what I can gather, from what I've read so far from various stories and sort of piecing together what seems to make sense, this chick, Mia Khalifa, was in some interview somewhere that I haven't heard, but apparently the bulk of it is that they were speaking about Ronda Rousey coming to WWE. Now, this is where I have to go off on a tangent. You guys know that have been watching me for any length of time. You guys know that I am a huge, huge advocate of the women's division in general, of what they've been able to do in the past couple of years with the WWE women's division, the NXT women's division, the fact that the women in WWE now technically have 3 titles they can fight for, which is great. They're getting to do longer matches, main events, different types of matches that they weren't able to do before. We had the entire Mae Young Classic, which you wouldn't have imagined 5 years ago. And one of the things that we've seen in the past little while is the interactions with WWE and Ronda Rousey. And it was one of those it's only a matter of time type things in my head, because Ronda Rousey was the biggest thing in UFC, and then I don't watch UFC, but apparently she's not anymore. Sucks to be her, I guess. And then she goes the Brock Lesnar route, and she sort of says, well, I'm not going to do UFC anymore, let's give this WWE thing a try. And from the little that I've seen of her and the little that I have heard of her in interviews or whatever, she is genuinely a fan, so it's all good. And while people have a mixed opinion of Brock Lesnar now, because he's getting a little stale and a little repetitive, you can't deny that Brock Lesnar under the WWE banner is an asset. He really is. And we don't have the equivalent of that in the women's division until now. I mean, we have people like Shayna Baszler who are about to debut, but I'm sorry, they're not as big a name as Ronda Rousey. It's not going to bring more eyes to the product like Ronda Rousey is. You know, we had Money Mayweather at WrestleMania years and years ago. All kinds of stuff. When they did the sumo thing with Big Show, that was kind of bullshit. But, you know, Rock coming back from Hollywood, back home to WWE, sort of has a similar effect. So it's all good and it's all wonderful. And I mean, me as a wrestling fan, I'm looking forward to seeing what Ronda Rousey can do in the context of WWE. Am I saying Ronda Rousey is going to be the best fucking shit ever and everybody else can fuck off and she's going to take the division into the future? No. What I'm saying is you've got this person that made themselves into a brand and they're bringing that brand to the WWE brand, and that alone is enough to make you pay attention. And the little bit that I've seen of her in UFC looks like she's going to absolutely destroy bitches when she comes to WWE, which is all kinds of fun. But Mia Khalifa, I don't know why, and I'm not saying this in a derogatory way, I need to be clear about that. I don't know why you're interviewing a porn star about a UFC fighter becoming a WWE superstar. I don't know what the continuum is there, I really don't. But she was basically talking down Ronda Rousey, telling her, you know, talking about, you know, that she's stupid, that she's not showing herself enough respect, she's taking a big step down, you know, what are you doing to yourself type thing, which led to her just going on a big slew of talking shit about the WWE. Now, this is not new. This is not new. People shit on the WWE because it's a big name, and if you shit on a big name, you're gonna get famous for 5 seconds or so. I'm gonna go to the huge example of... And because I have no notes, I can't even think of the guy's name. But the guy that did the Super Size Me documentary, and he claimed that he was really out there. He was worried about all of our health. He's going to solve the world obesity problem, and you know, junk food is bad, and da 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 da. But you didn't really do that, did you? You got your name in a headline because you're the guy that went up against McDonald's. That's it. That's all. And I mean, you can go anywhere else. You can go to Harvey's, you can go to Burger King, you can go to your local Stop and Shop, you can go to Red Robin, you can go to Applebee's, you can go to Shoeless Joe's, Jack Astor's, anything. And they might even have better food. But McDonald's is McDonald's. Now, I don't watch a lot of indie wrestling. I don't watch a whole lot of things outside of WWE. And they could have great wrestling. They could have fantastic wrestling. They could have better wrestling than WWE has. But WWE will always be WWE. Sorry for you New Japan fans. Sorry for you ROH fans. Sorry for the 1 or 2 Impact fans that are left. WWE will always be the top shelf. So if you want to get yourself a headline, you're going to go and you're going to insult the WWE. And that's what she did, and that's fine. But you need to know one thing. You need to know one thing. You need to know what you're doing when you do that. Wrestling fans will bite each other's heads off, will destroy each other, will destroy the product, etc. But wrestling fans, and you can ask Dana White, you can ask Conor McGregor, you can ask, that chick that was on the news, who's not in the news anymore, whose name I can't remember. You can ask the guy from Kings of Leon this past year. You can ask any of them what happens when you attack wrestling. When you attack wrestling fans, when you attack the WWE in particular, because WWE is what's the word I'm looking for? They are the hood ornament of pro wrestling, whether we like it or not. And the reason for all of that is that we all treat wrestling like our little brother. We do. And what do I mean by that? I mean the fact that we will shit on WWE. We as wrestling fans, we as YouTubers and podcasters and people in the social media realm and Twitter and Facebook and every other thing possible, we will shit on WWE. But we do it as fans. We will shit on WWE more than the people that don't watch it. But you, on the outside, can't. And is that hypocritical? Yes, but it's a hypocrisy that works. Because you all know, any of you that have siblings, you can pick on your brother, you can pick on your sister, you can pull on her pigtails, you can kick your brother in the nuts, whatever, all the case may be. And if you're any kind of good person, the minute somebody else does it, you are going to step up and you are going to band together. And that's what wrestling fans do. And that's why I love so much. I can't I'm sorry, I don't listen to Kings of Leon. I don't remember the guy's name. He's like the guitarist or something from Kings of Leon. And he got dragged through the absolute mud a while ago because he was talking shit about WWE. I think he said something along the lines of, hey, how about we actually be adults and stop watching pro wrestling? And he didn't even say anything that bad. It was like a couple of comments on social media, not even a full interview on the topic. And he got absolutely dragged. And you know what? That's good. That's really good, because you're on a social platform, and if you're on a social platform, yes, you have the freedom of speech, but we have the freedom of our opinion of your speech, and we also have the same freedom of speech as you. You want to sit there, you know, celebrities are the biggest cyber bullies ever, sitting behind their computer screens, and not that I'm saying a porn star is a celebrity, but you can say whatever you want because you're behind the safety of your keyboard, and you know if you go after the right target, you are going to get headlines for at least a little bit. Not because you're worth anything, but because you're attacking something big. And she got slaughtered on Twitter, on Facebook, on Instagram. And yes, I participated because she deserves it, because she's an idiot. But what did she do? What did she do? She needed some backup. She needed some way to fight. She needed some way to pull back from this fight without admitting that she's done anything wrong. So what did she do? She went to the social justice warriors, and she went to the feminists, and she went to the advocates, and she went to the white knights with a slant on the story. Oh, look at all these people. Look at all these people hating on me. Look at all these people slut-shaming me. Look at all these people picking on me because I'm a woman. Look at all these people, you know, picking on me because of my choice of lifestyle and the decisions that I've made in my life. Look at these people judging me because I'm a porn star. Which is bullshit. Let's be real for a second. And I mean, I have to come up with a better SJW voice, because it's going to come into play on a lot of these off-the-cuff videos, I think. But it's so much bullshit, and here's why. Nobody is body-shaming you, because I will admit, I've seen a couple pictures. You ain't hard to look at. I'll give you that. Nobody is shaming you for being a porn star. Nobody. Because guess what? Unless you're Amish, everybody has watched at least one porno in their life. Some of us have our favorites. Some of us, you know, have a specific thing that they like. Some of us are very specific about the porn we like. That's how much porn is sort of everyday in life right now. I mean, personally, I'm saying Lily Cade could get it, but that's another story for another day. You're not being shamed because you're a porn star. You're not being shamed because you're a woman. It's bullshit. You talk some shit, and people called you on it, and people called you on it fucking hard. So, when she tried to pull the feminist SJW advocate card just to run away from the shit that she started, she then took aim at a particular superstar in the WWE. And again, I have to pause. I have to admit my bias here. And yes, I am reacting to this more than I would if it was, say, another superstar, even one that I don't feel so strongly about as a wrestling fan. But she went after Paige, of all people. Now, you guys know, you know, along with people like Lita, AJ Lee, more recently, Nikki Cross, Ruby Riott, Paige is right up there as, like, one of my favorite women's wrestlers. Not saying that she's the greatest in-ring technician, any of that shit, but just as far as me watching wrestling, she's one of my favorites. She always has been. I've been waiting for Paige to come back forever. And I listened, you know, we saw what happened to her. We did. We saw what happened with the leaks, the photos, the videos, all the cluster fuckery that surrounded the whole her and Alberto Del Rio thing. We all watched, and I will say me too, because I read the dirt sheets and I watch stuff on YouTube and whatever. We all watched like fucking vultures to see the circus that her personal life became because we weren't watching her on TV. And social media and news and dirt sheets and all that really do create a vulture mentality within wrestling fans. And I will say, even being a part of it, that's not a great thing. But because there's that vulture mentality, and because there are reporters and bloggers and all that are willing to feed into that, we found out about, you know, her and Alberto doing drugs, and her on painkillers, and her with her neck issues, and you know, like I say, the whole stuff with Xavier Woods and Brad Maddox and the videos and the photos and all that sort of thing. And we found out about all of that. And I really do encourage you guys, and this is on a serious note, this has nothing to do with Mia Khalifa, but I really do encourage you guys, if you're not listening to the Lillian Garcia podcast, I think it's called Chasing Glory. I did listen to the podcast where she interviewed Paige, and she interviewed her about all the stuff that happened since she left WWE, all the stuff with Alberto, all the stuff about being in the public eye, dealing with substances, dealing with drinking, dealing with the leaks and whatnot. And she went pretty detailed into the fact that, people were so shitty about the videos and the photo leaks and whatever that she was contemplating suicide, which is completely fucked up. Not saying she's fucked up, don't get me wrong, but that the situation got that bad that she was contemplating suicide. So parse yourself from that for a second. This is the pit that Paige was living in for a little bit. Now you've got, she's come around, she's away from Alberto Del Rio, she's cleaned herself up, she's rehabbed her neck, she's been in the Performance Center with a lot of the girls from NXT that we now see on the main roster, and she's really making a go of it. She's got this new faction, she's got a prominent spot, she's probably going to be either having a feud with Asuka or having a feud for the Raw Women's Championship soon. And you know what? Good the fuck for her. Even if I wasn't a fan, I would say good the fuck for her. But you've got somebody that's pulled themselves out of that much muck to try and turn their life around, and you've got this chick Mia Khalifa who's causing herself a shitstorm and throwing a pity party simultaneously with all the feminists and SJWs. So here's this girl that's claiming she's being slut-shamed and body-shamed and da-da-da-da, who then goes on a Twitter diatribe about, I never really liked WWE, but I've always been a fan of Paige. I really hear she can take a pounding. Now, there's a couple things here. First of all, nobody was body-shaming Mia Khalifa. Nobody was judging her for being a porn star. Nobody was judging her for her life choices or whatever. They were calling her, again, on being a stupid bitch and trying to get herself a headline, make herself a name, make herself relevant at the expense of the form of entertainment that we all love. Even when we hate it, we love it. Like, that's a thing. I wouldn't be here talking to you guys right now. Here's this woman that didn't like that she was being called on doing bullshit towards our chosen form of entertainment, who tried to make herself a victim real hard, but failed, tried to get the social justice warriors on her side, tried to get the advocates and the feminists on her side with some fake bullshit story about how she was being bullied and she was being shamed and whatever the case like that. So instead of just going with it, and instead of just, hey, I fucked up, I probably shouldn't have said that shit, sorry guys, I'm out, she instead doubles down on her stupidity and goes after a legitimate victim, a legitimate person that has been victimized, a legitimate person that has, had mental health issues, a legitimate person. She's a piece of shit. So she went from just some stupid bitch doing some stupid shit on Twitter or in an interview, which I could have forgiven, to, going the feminist SJW, I don't do anything wrong, it's everybody else that's picking on me route, to the I'm going to be an absolute vile human being and take a shot at somebody in probably their worst possible moment as they try to pull themselves out of it. So, Mia Khalifa, you are a piece of shit. I'm not going to waste any more breath on you. I've been Spaz, your YWC Reality Check. Subscribe up there, talk down there, start a conversation, keep all these conversations going. Don't be a stranger. I will talk to each and every last one of you later, but for right now, I am tagging out. Bye. So